Outta Survival. It's the rival. Yeah, I don't know. I love that song. And we are back. Welcome to Outta Survival with Julia. I am Julia, and this is a safe place for us to speak about mental health and the things that go on before and after. And if we could see the patterns, stop the patterns. One thing that we will be getting into today is when we always put out experiences I go through for the new people on here. Make sure you do like and subscribe. But one thing we're going to talk about today are friends. Now, I don't want people to be like, you know what? I don't like her. That's why I'm gonna agree with Julia. No, 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 no. I went through betrayal in a way that I could have been deceased. Now if it's that deep, if it's gang stalking, if it's people getting paid to just be your friend for 10 years, was that transactional or was it genuine? And it wasn't just one person, so let's get into it. So, you thinking of the times that I was partying, I was splurging money because I wanted my clique to look good. I didn't care, if you had a white shirt, I'd be like, you know what? You want to wear a Tupac shirt? Let's buy the same shirt. That was just a person I am. Now, this is the naivety of me, right? Because I really, when people say, like in hip hop or whatever, like be the realist, like that, show up for people and this and that. I thought that meant, making sure they're good, they're hungry, I'm gonna feed them. If they had nowhere to stay, I would help them and clothe them, And in my eyes, I started seeing that at the time. So I had goggles on, okay? And I saw that, these people cared for me. I didn't see the transactional parts. I only saw when they were around when I was doing the worst. And if you're going to use somebody transactionally, you don't care what they're going through. You're just doing what was told for you to do in these 10 years. To me, that's what got me. That it's a decade, that my secrets, my aspirations, my dreams even were spoken to these handful of people, and I met them in different occasions, So for an example, I'm gonna put out one chick that ran into my life during the whole thing with my dad and ex. Had I known she was a part of it, again, I didn't expect anyone to even think like that, let alone finding out now that you only was my friend to get your bills paid, to get a free meal, to get a car. I get it, but I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, I understand how low a person could get to try to make someone's mental health horrible, because I went through it. But I could never understand a human being saying okay to something so abruptly wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I would be the one like, you know what? Okay, father, let me call you back. Girl, are you, there's questions. And that's what I was getting to in the last one, but this one's about friends. Transactional friends, say that. Because there are friends you can forgive, but there's just some things that you can't, and I'm gonna use the other example later, but I wanted the female versus female feel, because females are the ones that has the feminine beauty that help each other. We're supposed to give each other good advice. um, I went to this chick's wedding, like right after work, crazy, like not knowing she's the one that was getting me fired, but let alone that I was rushing to her wedding. And the last episode, please go and watch that. We did talk about esoteric things, and you hear about people and their souls or whatnot. We're not going to get into it deep this one, but I do believe people get the easy way out or go the easy way out. But and then you get to know them. Imagine the 10 years, right? And this is all because of helping others that probably went through something more horrific than just my example. But to actually know that you could have been poisoned every day you were with this person and thinking you were drunk, because you're buying the bottles. Um, I was put in positions like that. Had I known that our relationship was kind of strategically placed like a Truman Show, would I have changed my mind? Like, what if a person knew the truth about you? Are you still the same kind person, or were you just acting accordingly? You know, you think about transactional things like always paying, always giving, always rescuing, always the one to lean on. Those are all aspects of someone that, like myself, grew up in a dysfunctional family. As if people didn't know that already, let alone putting toxic people in my life to get a cell phone, to get a house, a mansion, whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, you're just renting it. At the end of the day, that money is not yours. And at the end of the day, God is going to be the one to show you what was good and what was bad. And I'd rather be on the good side. And my whole point to all this is people don't understand if they don't go through it. I don't believe these people that say a handful of people. I don't believe in their little minions. They deserve any tears. I don't believe that they deserve anything from me. Not a forgiveness, not like that's how I really feel. But to move on, you have to forgive, Well, for me, I do, because the resentment hurts more than just thinking that you could let this go away. Being used transactionally, it's up there on top 5 of um, dysfunctional friendships. It's like being the new girl in school and you're just trying to make friends. And you're the joke sometimes. That maybe you didn't understand it because of their colorism. But I always let it go in one ear and out the other because of this, let's say, ex bestie, which I think that's giving her a lot more credit than, but she actually found a husband in a strip club and tried to make me jealous on that. She received gifts from my dad's side to go against me, to let them know exactly pinpoint where I was. And that could have been detrimental. And for a regular person, it could have been detrimental mentally to say, hey, girl, you could trust me, to she's the one that told me to love my dad. You know, you start putting the things together. And that's one thing that, you know, when you're going through mental health and you're grieving, one of the things that you have to grieve when it's a transactional friendship, if it's a friendship just one sided, if you're the one that's always rescuing, it doesn't have to be about money. But the grieving is to let go, to love yourself like you loved those people. Because I know how much it could hurt to even have a friend for a week and they do you wrong. You know, I've been through that too. And, you know, that does give you, you know, when you have transactional friendships for decades, you know, or a decade, it does make it harder to find genuine friendships. And I'm not saying, hey, I have no friends, but like to really make a genuine friendship, you know, not let's go to happy hour. Like, no, a genuine friendship, as in, Julia, like, I understand what you're going through. Let's do this together. Let's collab. That's, you know, because the people that are on the top are not collabing. And that's one thing I have to say, that I am grateful for the people that have opened doors for me. Even if it's a slight little, you know, nudge through the door, I am walking through them and by myself. Um, you know, because I mean, you start realizing what healthy is, what healthy boundaries are, um, reciprocation. You know, like, hey, they bought me my food this time. You know, it was a pretty sad situation that every Tuesday, Saturday, I would be excited, you know, because one of my friends were coming. And it started off as the ex-best. And then I guess I started seeing that friendship deteriorate. Then friends from high school, um, mutual friends through high school, started, you know, hitting me up in the DMs and Messenger or whatever. And I was a party girl. So I was like, what? You're a DJ? I get in free? Whatever, I'm coming, you know, not knowing, you know, my brother sent them in, or my dad paid for his DJing that he's faking, because how can you talk and DJ at the same time? I don't know. But, you know, one thing I can say is, if you're unable to cope, because some people caught me off guard, um, I really would say, you know, first cut cords with them, you know. Um, there's many ways. There's burning their pictures. There's actually visualizing them in front of you and cutting a cord. Um, you know, if you hadn't set your boundaries, or if we had, let me put it like that, if we had set our boundaries, I know for a fact that it would have been harder for these people to get transactions out of us. But look at it this way. We have so much love to give that we will give the shirt off of our backs. And to me, if that's not what God's children are, then I don't know what is. But don't ever blame yourself for these people that used you for rescuing. And if you don't know, rescuing would be, oh man, my girl got $500 from me. Can I have 500? Or, oh my gosh, I'm hungry. It could go from that little to that big, And you start thinking, man, I can't help them. I don't have $500. I just paid my rent. I live by myself. Let me go to work and I can get 500. And that's the people pleasing of it all. But all to say, it just taught me to be a stronger person. It taught me strength. It taught me to vet people. It taught me to actually take a grain of salt with each relationship, and not to have trust issues, but actually to know what you're going to get into. You don't know what's a healthy relationship until the relationship blows up in their face. Either a real friendship fixes it, or a real friendship leaves it to just die. And when I was sick, I reached out to all of my friends, so-called friends in my circle, let's say like 5 of them. I even said, I think esoteric things were happening, but no one came. That was my big eye-opener, because no one came. Not my father, not my mother, and definitely not any of these transactional friends that were living at my house for years, for using my family to have a house for years, as I'm being put out homeless. That's where mental health needs to be common for us to speak to each other, to make platforms like this and not be afraid to even speak about it, to make it a safe space so that we could understand why these psychopaths, why these people that have no home training are messing with us. We're good people. Mental health isn't an illness to me. It is health for your mind. Your mind, body, and soul connection. We're all interconnected, and we all deserve the same compassion, love that gives us hope that we could keep going, praying, and not going back to the same treatment. They want to play transactional. Play transactional with your freedom, with your power. Call back your power. Don't let them live rent-free in your mind anymore. We all know, we try to figure it out and say, why, I did this, they did, let it go. That's going to be the best thing that we can do as a community, as a collective, is letting the dark forces go. Walking away is always the healthiest choice. If this episode spoke to you or resonated with your soul, or maybe you know somebody that might need to know they're not alone, please share, subscribe, and like. I would appreciate it immensely. And for the people that are putting their stories and feedbacks, I really do love, cherish, and it means the world to me. Just remember, we're not surviving anymore. We're here to build, have respect, and show the next generation what real love looks like. This is Outta Survival with Julia. I am Julia. See you guys next time.